We'll talk about that.
It's quite poor.
So, hello everybody. I'm Ian. This is Jason. We're Sinners Review podcast, and as I said in the last one, part of the Sinners Music Empire, which is just like euphemism, isn't it? So we're two old blokes talking about music and art and anything else that we fancy. Really, we will stay out of politics as much as possible. Although I do want to mention one thing about politics, but it's nothing to do with that gentleman, the orange gentleman in America. So we first of all, we've got so many other business because we were wrong about Dire Straits being the first commercially available CD.
Correct.
Google.
Yes.
No, I was Google AI, and I have no. This is true, and I did wonder about it. That's why I checked it actually, because so the first commercially sold CD was by some little-known Swedish band called ABBA, with their album The Visitor. So ABBA's album The Visitor, actually, which is their best album if you've never heard it. I think it was the last album as well. So that was released on August 1782. Brothers in Arms didn't turn up till 3 years later in 85.
Yeah. There's a Billy Joel one as well, was just right behind ABBA, I think, in terms of being one of the first ones. I'm not sure why Dire Straits had that notoriety. Was it because I think it probably broke records for how many units it shifted, right?
Everybody bought Brothers in Arms because the production was so good. I mean, the record shops that I worked in the early 80s, everybody was playing it with a CD player. Didn't matter what the CD player was, because it made CD sound great, and then everybody went out and bought it, because it's not a bad album. I mean, like I said to you last time, I got sick to death of hearing it, and I couldn't listen to it for years. I've got it. I have it now on CD, as I've got most of the early Dire Straits stuff, actually. Right. But so there's our any other business where we were wrong, but. I think that's fine. I saw an article, and I'll put a link down below. Massive Attack have pulled their music from Spotify. Did you see this?
Yeah, them and quite a few actually. There's a growing trend now. There's a lot of people doing it.
Yeah, I didn't know there was anybody else that's doing it. But what made me recognise it, apart from the fact that great they've done that, and let's face it, we want more and more people to do that. But they also pulled their music from Israel. It's blocked in Israel. Yep. So consequently, the next release that we're putting out will not be on Spotify, and it will not be available in Israel or Russia. Now, the interesting thing at the moment is that because of the war in Russia, it's automatically blocked out by the distributor. So we couldn't add Russia even if we wanted to. But Israel, they are not taking that approach. I had to actually email them and tell them to block Israel.
Oh, because the distribution you use, I thought it allowed you to remove some territories. No,
it does.
You can choose your platforms. But...
Yeah, it does. I had to email them because I'd forgot to take. I mean, when I was doing it, I forgot to take it off Spotify, and I didn't know about the Israel thing. And then I thought about the Israel thing. I thought, well, actually, what I will do is I will make it unavailable.
Okay, so your next release, if you was processing the next release through that distribution portal that you have, you can deselect it.
I can deselect it, yeah.
Okay,
and I will do that unless the artist tells me otherwise.
Okay,
in future. So
Okay.
I mean, we will encourage artists to take their music off, to not put their music on Spotify, because nobody's going to get paid. But if they want it on there, we can't. We have to do what they want to do, which is fine, really. What was the other thing?
Have you got a free plasticine T-shirt on?
Yeah, this is the T-shirt that would get
action. Okay,
this is the T-shirt that would get me arrested if I was in London.
If you've got a dyslexic policeman.
Yeah, because apparently the Met did apologise for arresting the guy. Right. So, and there's lots of fake ones actually. So if you I've got this from the Plasticine Action
Is that morph in the? Is that
It's
morph
morph.
in
It
the
says
ad?
at the bottom. It says we oppose AI-generated animation.
Right.
So that's what it's really about. But
Yeah.
quite a lot of they've said on the website, quite a lot of their profits are going to go to charities in Gaza, which was it. Yeah. So you can buy cheap ones for 15 quid. This, I think it's 20 quid off the official website. The morph, they're only black or white. The original, and morph is slightly different on the fake ones that you see on eBay.
Okay.
It looks slightly different. So they've just changed morph slightly.
Right.
Can't see it. I need to lean back, but yeah. So yes, there's my plasticine action, and quite a few people have gone, "I love your T-shirt. Where did you get it from?" So yeah,
cool.
So that was some of my birthday money, and when we get on to what we've been doing the week, I've got more stuff to show you about that. There was something else from that's Ticketmaster. This arrived this morning. Ticketmaster are forced to change pricing and sales tactics after Oasis row. Now, and again, I'll link it's a Guardian article that's literally popped up this morning on my phone. So basically, what was happening when people were actually booking their tickets for the Oasis gig? It was saying up front, I've got the prices here, I'm just looking at it now. The initial advertised price for a ticket was £148.50. By the time they get through all the rubbish, right? I mean, let's face it. I mean, you and I probably wouldn't spend that to go and see any band. Would you go and see?
No, not when you can. I mean, I went to Glastonbury for a day for that price and saw 15 bands.
Exactly. Yeah. Where you're only going to get two, and I don't know who was supporting Oasis, but somebody.
It was Richard Ashcroft, I think.
Was he really?
Right. Yeah, I don't mind him.
He's fine. I mean,
but it's not worth the £8 of the 148.
That's true. Yeah. So, and what was happening was by the time you got to the end of the process, you had minutes to decide whether to go ahead, and it was a much higher price, and in some cases it was more than £350.
Well, because they've got you. You're a captive customer, aren't you? Because you've got the time's ticking. You're in the queue. You're elated that you're in the queue and you've got through, right? Yes, you're sitting at work or you're doing something and you've got into the queue and it's ticking down. It just puts you under pressure. And at that moment of that rush of I'm going to get a ticket, suddenly becomes 250 quid, right?
Yeah.
And in that moment, you don't really kind of notice, right?
Yeah, and apparently there were allegations that they were doing dynamic pricing.
Yeah,
which where the price goes up because of the more people want it. The article says that's not. They have no evidence of that at all. That Ticketmaster are doing that. But let's face it, I wouldn't be surprised if Ticketmaster have been doing that. I haven't bought a Ticketmaster ticket for at least 5 years, and I think the last time, even longer, the last ticket I bought through Ticketmaster was to see Prince before he died. I saw him at the O2. Which is quite a long time ago. So, and I wouldn't buy a ticket from Ticketmaster. So, on purpose, on principle, really, because they have this. Well, they've got a captive audience to some extent. Those big gigs, and I have to say, I am less interested in stadium type gigs anyway. I'd much prefer to see some,
I don't get it with the stadium gig because you end up watching the screen.
Yeah.
Well, then wait for the DVD.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're standing there anyway. You're not getting the vibe. The sound quality probably isn't great in the stadium. It depends where you are. There's only a few seats when you're going to get a great sound. I mean, it's probably better now, right?
I'm sure it is. I mean, the last biggest gig I went to was in Manchester, and I went to see Arcade Fire. I was right at the back. So that would have been, so it wasn't a stadium, but it was obviously a big gig. It was 10,000, something like that in there.
Right.
And because we're right at the back, right high up, and there was no screens, so you could hardly see them. You literally need your binoculars. You could hear the the bass and the drums hitting the back wall behind us. So the sound was poor. That was probably about 10 years ago, really.
Right. I mean, I think it has got better. I think it has got better, the sound quality, in fairness. But yeah, it's a rip-off. I mean, the Oasis tour, so I don't think Noel and Liam care, right? They made 50 million just from UK and Ireland, and now they're traipsing around the rest of the world. But they only get, the UK and Ireland was 400 million of ticket sales. They got 50 million of that. So 350 million has gone elsewhere. And Ticketmaster and Live Nation being a big chunk, right?
Yeah, the band will be paid less, won't they?
Yeah.
And then you've got crew, and I'm sure there's some sort of light show and some digital stuff. I have been watching this week because we are, we're finishing our Disney Plus subscription. I've been watching the Taylor Swift Eros tour.
Okay.
And absolutely incredible. So I know she's not your thing, but I would recommend that you see it purely and simply for the staging alone is just phenomenal. Right? The show is absolutely incredible.
She has 2 stages, so they have basically 2 stages. So
one setting up,
crew go ahead,
and the other one's taking down, and you can see that because the stage goes out into the audience, and even that whole stage is lit from underneath, and it becomes different things at different times. But the actual the production values were absolutely superb, and I mean I don't know how much tickets were. My daughter-in-law went, Belinda, and I need to ask her how much she paid for a ticket.
120 at Wembley.
I mean, that any seat was worth it. I'd have paid.
I mean, spent money for that.
And the fact it was 3.5 hours. I'm about halfway through it, so definitely worth it. I mean,
supported. I think Gracie Abrams. She's a big artist on her own. So
I liked her at Glastonbury. I watched her set.
Value for money, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was, and you can see where the money went to some extent because it was, it was there. Anyway, we're digressing. I think that's it for news. The only other thing is apparently Garbage have turned around and said, I haven't got the article up, but they've turned around and said that the way that the music industry works now, that they can't afford to tour. Right. Which was an interesting comment. I saw that a few days ago. If I find it, I'll stick it down below. Really, and you could argue that if a fairly big legacy band like Garbage from the 90s and 2000s can't afford to tour, then the music industry is in a bit of a dodgy state, really. But so that was interesting. Anyway, how's your fortnight been? Because we can't do a week anymore. We're doing fortnight now, aren't we?
Well, talking of those kind of big legacy acts, I went to see Left Field.
Oh Bristol. Yes, that was the night after we
Document, which is it's where Bristonica is, isn't it? A Document. Yeah. So big warehouse. Yeah, it's a good venue.
What's the sound like? First thing.
When it was full. Once it was full, it was okay actually. I could imagine it's a nightmare when it's empty. Interesting to know how they do the sound check when it's empty, and then different when there's a few thousand people in there.
Well, if they're on tour and they'll be using one of those digital desks, they'll have it
bring you back up.
They'll have it set up from the last venue that was closest to that, and then
tweak from there.
They'll tweak it from there over the first couple of songs. It was normally how I think it works.
Yeah. So, it was a good venue. It was pretty full. It was £32 a ticket. Doors opened at 7, it ran till midnight. It was mostly middle-aged folk that grew up dancing in the 90s, right? Because it was the 30th anniversary of leftism. 30th? Yeah. God, 1995. So it was okay. There was a couple of things. I hate being negative about going to see something like Left Field because they're a great artist. I've got some of their albums. I loved them in the 90s.
I've got a couple.
Leftism album was great.
Yeah.
So I'm not knocking them at all, but so got there just after 7. There was a DJ initially, and he did a good job. He was steadily lifting the tempo. He was going from low tempo, chill out, massive attacky kind of tempo, and started tuning it up, getting everybody in the groove. Place started filling up, and two guys came on and played a set who initially you thought they were left field because it was two guys. One was bald, one had a beard, and it kind of looked like left field, but it wasn't left field. So we're like, And they played an hour set of just four on the floor, 120, 130 BPM.
I don't want to leave at that point.
Well, it was all okay, but you didn't recognize it.
No.
There was no interaction with the audience. They had a little bit of visual behind them, nothing great. So this was 10:30 by this time. So you'd had 2.5, 3 hours of sitting there. Left field come on at 10:30. They played, all of the big tunes, the big tracks from Leftism. The one from the Guinness advert, the doom, 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 that one. So they played all the hits. But I have to say I didn't really enjoy it. I was looking forward to it and I did enjoy it. And I think a couple of things was I'm sober.
Yeah.
That's not much fun. And I was with people that weren't sober. But I also tried for the first time, I've got some of them loop headphones, the sound.
All right, yeah.
It reduced the overall sound by a few dB to protect your hearing, which I'm glad I wore them. So I don't know whether that contributed to it being a little bit underwhelming. So you hear the sound, it does the job, it just knocks a few dB off all of the frequencies. So you hear a good mix. But I don't know if you lose a bit of the energy, possibly.
You do. I mean, I've got a pair of. They're actually designed specifically for musicians, and I wear.
Yeah, they're the ones I've got. I think they're Loop something. They're called Loop.
Mine are here. Just a sec. Stuff as well.
So they're the in-ear ones, subtle ones. They've got it sits snug in your ear, and then you've got like a little tiny little ring on them.
These are live music. They come with. There's two types. These are the types that are the strong. They block out most of the sound. I think they drop it by 20 dB.
Right.
Because whenever I've been playing with bands, especially in rehearsals, they're just too loud. Now what I do with them is if you turn them, you can get some of the treble. You do lose some of the top end.
Yeah.
On all in ears, really, on all this. So, but if you turn them and you can sort of pull them in and out slightly, you can get them to a point where you're sort of happy with them. But you're right, I do sort of feel slightly distracted by them. Not quite in the moment.
So it was the first time I used them at a gig. I've tried them out, as you say, rehearsing. So it took a little bit of the energy away, even though you could still hear, you still had clarity of what you're hearing. But as you say, it just tuned off a few dB. Yeah. But what it meant then is I could hear all the people talking, and nothing worse than people talking at a gig. So it didn't actually cut, because they're designed so that it dampens the music, but you can still hear people talk. So they're not noise cancelling, right? So actually I had less of the music, but more of the people around me that were just chatting. I'm like, so that kind of spoilt it for me. So not to say, it was a great venue. Left Field are a good band with some killer tunes. The crowd weren't really into it either. There was a few people that were probably dropping pills like they did back in the 90s. Off their faces and probably didn't get up for 3 days afterwards. But I felt that even the crowd weren't going off. Even when they played the real big tunes, the crowd weren't locked in, and it was really weird. A bit of an odd night. So it may have just been me. I don't know.
Well, do you think that they've become their own tribute act, which I'm sure happens to some of these bands? And I don't blame bands doing that. If I'd have had hits, I'd have been doing the
knocking them out for 30 years.
Yeah. You do. You take the money and run, and I don't blame them for that. I'm not interested in going to those sort of gigs where, I mean, we're seeing people come to Froome, aren't we? That, Gary, I was going to say Gary Glitter, God forbid. Gary Newman came, and I didn't want to go and see him because I would have wanted to see him probably the second or third tour when he was really at his peak in some sort of smallish, sweaty club, maybe 1,000 people.
And making music you'd never heard before.
Exactly. So I'm not, I am always up for going to see something new, something interesting, and that's an ongoing search. In fact, my Father's Day present from this year, the boys said, "We need you to pick a gig to go to." So I picked a gig, but actually, it's we're not going to be able to go. It's not Oasis, no. It's in January, and January's not going to be a good month, so I'm going to have to pick something else actually. So, and it's obviously I want it to be in London so that all 6 of us could go, really,
right.
And not too expensive in the sense that no more than say 25 quid a head, really.
Mm-mm.
But I will pick something. So that's quite a nice thing to do, is to actually pick something, and it'll be something that I've never seen before, but I might have just heard of them. I'll have a listen to them online, and then go and then give it a punt. Yeah, I mean, and it might be sort of slightly more experimental as well, rather than the pop field, So,
so again, I don't want to, it was probably part me, wasn't them. I know I do like Left Field, and fair play to them. They're doing lots of nights.
Well, that gig we went to at Beacon, the 2 German guys. That was
Dorfmeister.
Yeah, that was a great gig.
And everyone was vibing on that, right?
It was great. I know.
You could tell the audience were vibing. Yeah,
I know we were sat at the back, which was my choice rather than yours, but because my days of being in the mosh pit are well gone. But
you could tell they captivated the audience.
They did. I mean, people who were outside of us were up dancing, and it had a really good vibe, and they were great. They were really great. And I didn't know much of their stuff until you mentioned it. I had a quick listen before the gig, but I really enjoyed that, and their stuff has stayed on my my Apple account.
Yeah, nice.
So it's probably, and it's interesting about Document. I'm not so sure Document's necessarily a great venue. I know that the weekend it will be information overload, really, because you've got all these synth. You got artists playing in the bar, and then you've got all these synth guys trying to demonstrate their stuff with everybody else, and it is just full on. I mean, if you manage to make it on Sunday, take your earplugs, because you're going to need them.
Yeah, good tip.
Yeah. So, So, what else? What else have you been up to?
We're rehearsing for the Sona Vida gig on Saturday, the 27th, in Box. We're just getting ready for that because we've got a 1-hour set.
Brilliant.
We've been playing a lot of EMOMs where you get 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So, like, how can we turn this into 1 hour, make it a bit of a journey, pick it up, slow it down, all that sort of stuff. So it's coming together. Yeah. It's coming together. It'll be fine. And
have you got a rehearsal before the actual gig, or is that it now?
Only individually. We're not getting back together now. No. So
it'll be great.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We know we've been playing the tunes out for a fair while. So, and then hopefully we can lock in a singer. Go and meet a singer on Friday that I've been trying to get engaged, and because no one wants to watch. I just went to see Left Field, and was 2 blokes on their gear.
I know.
Well, guess what? Sona Vida's 2 blokes on their gear. It's not the most interesting thing visually. Although we've got some visuals coming. Actually, they've got a TV screen, big massive TV screen, and Dave's been working on some nice visuals that.
It's good.
Some digital animation, and it syncs to the music you're playing, which is quite nice. So if you've got pulses or movement, it actually locks into the tempo of the music you're playing, which would be quite nice. I think
you need something like that. I mean, there's nothing worse than, like you say, see, I mean, although you look quite exciting because you're into it. I've seen you playing plenty of times, the pair of you, and you do vibe off each other, and you're having a good time, which I'm sure will relate to the audience.
Yeah,
but you're right. It's quite nice to have something else visually.
Yeah, you've got to. You can't just look at us 2 Neil Lowe. No, not Lowe's. Two Chris Lowe's. Is it Chris Lowe? Pet Shop Boys. Yeah.
Pet Shop. Well, I mean, you're definitely not a Chris Lowe because he stands there. I mean, the one thing about Chris Lowe is
he does that on purpose, though, right?
He stands there and he looks great because he doesn't move.
Yeah.
So. I mean, that's a band that I would like to go see. I've never seen them live. I've got the DVD when they did that with the dance troupe back in the 2000s, I think it was. That's a good watch.
There's an iPlayer documentary of them from about a year or so ago, if that. Right. That's worth a watch. That's quite good. It follows them around touring now. and you just see him chatting backstage, and Chris Lowe is just very dry, got a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good sense of
I
humour.
got that
You
impression.
know,
Yeah.
you'll enjoy that. It's a
Yeah.
good watch. It's a good watch, and they've got some. They've
They've got some
some
great songs.
tunes.
I mean, I've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
2 or 3 of their albums. Yeah.
yeah. No, good stuff. So,
So
what have you been up to?
what have I been up to? I've been busy. So I've been busy buying stuff.
What's that's becoming a regular theme now.
I know. So I bought, first of all, I put up the Azimuth Tilt video on last Monday, which is from this album that we're putting out on the 1st of October, which is on Bandcamp, and then 6 weeks later on streaming. So I did the track's the Exquisite Space, but it's not the full version because the full track is about 16 minutes. So this is the 7-minute version, and the 16-minute version will be available on the day of release on the 1st of October. And it's weird, but it has got a story. So It's worth a look at some point. And I've been buying fanzines. Okay, and we should probably do a whole session on fanzines at some point. So first of all, last Monday morning, not this Monday, 2 Mondays ago. Right? No, last Monday. It was last Monday, yes. So this parcel turns up, and I'd ordered some fanzines from, I'd ordered these. So this is Moon Buildings, a fanzine and a CD. Okay. And I ordered 3 sets so each one comes with a CD. I haven't opened them yet. They only turned up yesterday. So I got 3 of these, and it's mainly electronic music and artists Polly Paws, you may have heard of him. Lula York's, she does a load of stuff with modular synths. So they're electronic music, but they didn't turn up. So, and it was done through Castles in Space, the little record label. And they sent me this. They sent me an album by mistake.
Stone Anthem.
It's an ambient album. It's really good.
So you got somebody's album and
I got somebody else.
Fanzines.
Yeah. So I then sent them a message and I didn't open it. I said, look, you've sent me this. They went, oh, really sorry about that. Keep it.
Okay.
It was very 3 of them. It's really good.
It's up your street anyway?
It's great. It's really good. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And then the Moon Buildings, I think the guy who writes Moon Buildings, I've forgotten his name now, but we should probably send him some stuff because I don't think we've added him to the list.
Yeah, send me his email address,
I will do.
And then we'll do that.
But he is champion underground music, predominantly electronic. So
yeah, we should send him the label releases.
Yeah.
So how did you find out about Moon Building? How did you come across it?
Well, I subscribed to the Castles in Space Bandcamp for a while. And as a subscriber, you got downloads and stuff. And one of them was, I think, an interview with him. Neil Mason's the guy's name. And I think he worked for them, but now he's broken away and he's done it on, he's writing on his own. So he's a journalist, and obviously he puts an album with, they come out every 6 months, something like that. So they're not like a monthly zine or magazine or fanzine or whatever you want to call it. So that was that. Then,
I'm just gonna let me
sure.
Sorry to interrupt, Ian. So Moon Building Mag, they are on our. They do get them actually. We'll check the email address, but we are sending them something.
Oh, good, great.
The releases.
Yeah.
But maybe we just reach out with a more personal touch.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because he seems like a decent bloke actually, and he's like I say, he's champion sort of smaller music. So next thing that turned up, so that was Monday. What else did I do on Monday? I had a meeting with Aesthetica. They're sorting out our accreditation.
Very good.
Interestingly enough, they have a music stage this year, which Phoebe said it'd be great if you could talk a bit about that. I think next time, in 2 weeks' time, we'll do a whole session on Aesthetica. Okay. But yeah, so they've got other things, that they've got a comedy night, and it's not just films. and all of that.
Yeah,
sort
there's
of stuff.
gaming. They had VR last time.
So that's all still there, but they've extended the festival, so it's looking good actually. Yeah. So she's going to come back to me about. We may need to buy some tickets for some things, but and I said that wasn't a problem really. Okay. So Tuesday, this turned up. So that's
Allure, is it?
Allure, yeah. So going to see a week on Monday in Bristol.
Yep, the 6th.
Now this is a collection of her releases so far that she's put out on vinyl. So it's not available on CD. They've obviously up until now only been available on streaming. They're so much better when you listen to them as an album, especially a vinyl album. So it sounds great. Limited to 300 discs, 25 quid I think I paid for it.
And how did you, just interested, how did you purchase it? From her website, yes. From an independent label?
No, from her website. Actually, no, not from her website. Her website takes you through to the record label that she's with in Leeds, which is, it says on here, actually. It doesn't, but, Dance with the Radio.
Okay. So as we talked about, a couple of weeks ago, just to recap, if you're buying that from, as close to the artist as you can, which in that instance you have, they're probably getting upwards of £7 or more for that vinyl sale, direct to the artist. Whereas, as we said last time, you'd need 30,000 streams to get something close to that.
And it's great. And the nice thing was, I did a little TikTok, and she redid it for me on TikTok, bless her, which was very sweet of her. So, and then I bought my TQ zine turned up. So more zines that I've been subscribing to forever. It's only something like 16 quid for the year. It's really quite cheap. Very underground music. And you always get at least one or two Bandcamp albums with it every time. It's coming out once every 3 months now, I think. But so that's that one.
They're on our mailing list, aren't they?
They are, yes. In fact, they've just the guy who runs it has just handed over the editorship to somebody else. He's handed it over to a guy called Paul. And then I bought another zine.
You're like Craig David. I bought a zine on a Monday, a record on a Tuesday.
This one came from the Moon Building, because I do subscribe to Neil Mason's blog. So he sends an email blog every couple of weeks. And he mentioned this. So through Bandcamp, right? So this is it's called Manifesto of Bliss. It comes with a little 4-track CD and a yum code for Bandcamp, right? Now, it costs £7, right? And they actually said it actually cost them more to make it. It cost them £7.50 to make it, but they so believe it. It's two guys apparently. They so believe in what they're doing. So if you're interested in Manifesto of Bliss with its little, and the tracks they're very different. In fact, one of the acts on here is from Warminster. We've met her, Kate Bosworth and her partner. One of their tracks is on there. I mean, they're very sort of slightly weirdly experimental, but their stuff's interesting. But limited edition, it will sell out £7. I think that's included, plus a couple of quid to ship it, really. So I haven't got around to reading it yet, because obviously I've got quite a lot of zines to read now. So that's the end of the zines for this, But like I say, at some point we should do a whole thing on zines, because they are definitely making a comeback,
you'll have to do all the heavy lifting on the zine front.
I'm happy to do that,
I was in the early 90s. Me and a few people who ran we ran an evening at a nightclub, and we did a zine called, I think it was called Loaded, before the Loaded thing. There was the Lads Mags Loaded. I'm sure it was before that, and we called it Loaded. Did we call it Loaded? I think so. We did a little zine. It was great fun as well. You could just do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the kind of spirit of it, isn't it?
And I think they're great. I mean, like I said, the Andy who runs the TQ one, I mean, he's handed over to somebody else because he's just had his 70th birthday.
Right.
But and he's been doing it since about 2015. So and so he's got a nice little team around him actually, which is good. And I found out about them because Chris Whitehead, the guy who does all their graphics, is from Whitby, and then I played the Whitby Festival that time, and he got me onto that, and that's how I found out about the whole thing. So it's it's that word of mouth thing, really. So what else? So I bought more. There is more, but we're nearly at the end now. So I bought this. So this is an album called Inky. Now this will mean more to those people that are in the EMOM and the Hardware's Jam circuit. Now, we're not involved in the Hardware Jams thing, but it's worth mentioning what they are. So Inky, or Lisa, as she was known, sadly, she died, was it last August or the August before? I think it was last year. I know I was on my way back from Edinburgh. She was only 52. And she was, she kept trying to get me to start doing Hardware's Jams. Now, Hardware's Jams is where they pick a topic. You've got the weekend to create a track, a jam. You then post it up onto YouTube, and then everybody votes on it. And it's quite a big thing.
Interesting.
And people all over the world are doing it.
Okay.
I could never get into the discipline of having to do it every week. Really, I'd like to spend a bit more time on stuff. So I never. Although she did, she was responsible for me buying a circuit. Because she kept saying about that. So sadly, she passed away about a year ago, and Steve Cresshead has done this album dedicated to her and limited to 52 copies, available on his Bandcamp. I'll put it down below. You get the album. I think it's 10 quid. And a load of and some stickers as well. So that was my final purchase of the week, of the fortnight, really.
Why 52 copies? One for every week. Because
that's all she was when she died.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
And he's done it all on. He's done it as jams, really, but he's done it on the bits of kit. One was the Yamaha Seek track, that thing that you've got, the Teenage Engineering.
EP 133.
Yeah, that, and
KO2.
one other sort of similar sort of box type thing. But it's a good album actually. It's worth a listen, and you'll be able to buy it as a download album after all the CDs have run out, really. So
very good.
That's almost it, I think, except two more things. One is that I went to I didn't go anywhere. I sat here and I went to a play on Tuesday night. We recorded this on Thursday. So Tuesday night, Jane dragged me to this, which is Let Love Kill You, A Heroine's Journey. So this was at the Merlin Theatre, just literally down the road. And I don't want to trash people's work, but I mean, when I came, I'm going to, because when, I looked at Jay. It was slightly weird. The lady that wrote it, she performed as a dog throughout it, right? And it had some songs, and it had, it was quite sort of, Glastonbury-like, I would say, maybe. There was, they put an awful lot of work into it, but. Jane described it as being a bit of a mess.
Okay.
Really. I think it had a director, but I think it needed quite a bit. I think it needed more work on it, really. So anyway, I genuinely don't want to trash it, but I did ask Jane how many stars she would have given it had it been an Edinburgh show. I don't think it'll ever go to Edinburgh, to be fair, because I don't think they'd get funding for it. No, I don't think anybody would back it to take it in its present form. It could be something else, The lady who was the lead actor she'd been an actor, and then she's gone off and done other things and hadn't acted for 9 years. She was amazing.
Okay.
So she was, I think her name was Tina. Yes. So she was amazing. But yes. So yeah, James just said it was a mess. So but we'd have both given it 2 stars.
2 stars, okay.
Yeah. So, okay. But
I was trying to come up with some dog themed puns while you was talking through that, but I won't bother.
But a massive, I mean, clearly they put an awful lot of love and work into it. And on that basis, it was an evening. It was it was 14 quid for a ticket, and it was an experience. So on that basis, it was, we talked about it. So, and it wasn't, but it needed more work. The last thing was yesterday. I sat here and I went to a lecture or a discussion about songwriting with the Ivors.
Okay.
Which was actually quite a, because I went to another one of these things. I've got some notes here. These things are, I mean, the problem with the Ivors ones is it's on Zoom, but we can't actually interact with the people on the panel apart from through chat. So they don't see us. I didn't bother turning my camera on, but obviously we can hear them. It was chaired by Ian Archer from Snow Patrol, who I have to say was brilliant at keeping everybody sort of on topic and moving the thing forward. And so there was him. There was a guy called Mr. Hudson, Ben. I don't know Mr. Hudson, but he's worked with Kanye West and people like that. He had some really great ideas, some really fantastic ideas. A guy from JLS. And a girl called Cal Lavier. I probably butchered her name now. She's Irish singer-songwriter, and she has some good ideas. So it was meant to be an hour, turned out to be an hour and a half. And then I think Carl at the end said we should do a second part of this because there's loads more. And it was really, really good. So it was worth the hour and a half that I spent on it, really.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So I wrote some notes, and I've got some notes on what they said, which, so I learned stuff.
Very good.
But yeah, so that was my fortnight. So it's right, it was a bit long, wasn't it? But, shall we get on to the main topic?
Fun packed.
It was fun packed, actually. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've been doing other little things, like I've been messing around with vocal replacement on AI, and I've come to the conclusion it doesn't do it very well.
Right.
But I tell you what, the new mastering assistant, because
Ozone.
Yeah. Now, version 9, which I had before, I think I said to you, I usually end up taking almost everything out. And, I had to tweak every track to some extent, but it got a lot closer than, so it's improved massively in those 3 years since version 9.
Yeah. Well, they were the ones, Ozone were the ones who were, it's Isotope, isn't it? Isotope. Yeah, aren't they? I think they're affiliated with Native Instruments now, aren't they?
They're owned by Native Instruments now.
Yeah.
They were bought out.
So they were independent, but yeah. So I think they were very open or very vocal about the fact that they were engaging with AI technology 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They were one of the first ones, right?
Yeah. And
so your main topic,
Sorry, I was just going to say I've got Melodyne's part of the package now, and I use Melodyne really early on, 3 or 4, I think. I think it's on version 5 now, so it'd have been 2 or 3. And I've got some tutorials that I'm working my way through just to get my head around it, really, because I've not touched it for several years. In fact, the last time I touched it was probably about 2014, so it's that long ago. Right. So it's a really early version, but anyway, yes, go on, main topic.
So I guess last week we talked about the different ways of consuming music, CD, vinyl, streaming, and we kind of broke that down a little bit, and we said we ought to focus on Bandcamp.
Yes.
So it's quite unique, Bandcamp. It's a great platform. Sinner's Musics are on Bandcamp. It's great for artists to get their music out there, big or small. It's definitely, if not the best, one of the best for flowing as much of the cash to artists.
Definitely.
They do periodic. I guess it's not that synchronized, but there's Bandcamp Friday. It's a bit unpredictable when it drops now.
It used to be every month, was for a while, wasn't it? Through the pandemic, I think it was every month, and then it dropped off. But they were being bought out twice since then. No, you're going to come on to that, but
Yeah.
and then it seemed to stop altogether. But then it came back again last month, and I only got the email like the day before, and I didn't do anything about it actually.
Yeah, that's what I find strange. It used to be Bandcamp Friday, and it was a monthly thing. You're right.
Yeah.
Now it seems to be quite sporadic, irregular, and to your point, not promoted very well. It's all a little bit last minute. So it's a bit of an oddity. The concept is great. So if I give you a bit of I do my usual stuff and just give you a bit of the potted history, and we just kind of discuss as we go. But it started out in 2008. So 17 years old. Been going for 17 years. It's from a guy in the US, a guy called Ethan Diamond. He's actually a musician himself, plays sax. And at the time, he set it up as an alternative to MySpace. So MySpace was the dominating thing, I guess, there at the turn of the beginning of the internet age. That was the thing for musicians or artists of any form, wasn't it, to get yourself out there. We talked a little bit about. Didn't you dig out an old MySpace page?
I did.
I should go on there. I must have a page somewhere. I should go and have a look at some point.
I couldn't find my page, my personal page, because the Ian J. Cole page, but there's the Ryan Shull and the Bloody Mary's page is still there, but nothing. All the pictures and everything is gone. The tracks are still there, but I couldn't get them to play.
Right. I'll have to have a look. I will have a look. Yes, it was an alternative to MySpace, which was the kind of the go-to at the time. Its ethos, and it still states this on the website, so I'll quote it, is it directly connects artists and their fans to make it easy for fans to support artists equitably so they can keep making music. So it's that direct link. Artists can reach their fans very easily. Fans can purchase it. They often do a minimum price. So, it gives you a recommendation to start a price for an album or an EP. Some people have famously put stuff on there for free, right?
Including us. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Radiohead famously put an album up, didn't they, for free? I think,
yes,
and everything, everything went to charity. A lot of high-profile artists have put their entire catalogue on there. I don't think it's free, but Bjork, Peter Gabriel, Radiohead.
I subscribed to Peter Gabriel for quite a while, and he regularly. I mean, was it £3 or £4? It's £3 or £4 a month. It's not. Right. It's not going to break the bank. And he would put when his last album came out, he would put a mix up every. Wasn't it every? Must have been every month. So you get a different, like there'll be like the dawn mix or the evening mix or whatever, different tracks, and then once the album was out, you got the album. So I've still, and although I stopped subscribing now, I've still got all that stuff on my Bandcamp. So when you stop subscribing to somebody like Peter Gabriel or anybody really, so because you can subscribe to Sinner's Music plug. You still keep everything that you've got up until that point.
Very good.
Which is great, actually.
And, the thing to remind people is if you do purchase it on Bandcamp, you can download it and then you can import it into your Apple Music.
Yeah.
Right? So you can import it into there so you can listen to it alongside other music if you do listen to streaming. So 2008...
Just before you move on, while you're talking about that sort of the streaming element of it, I mean, I haven't done that with Apple Music because I've got the Bandcamp app. And actually, the Bandcamp app is really, really good. I have it on my iPad. I've also got it on my phone. Okay. And it just, very rarely do I download the albums because I'm usually going to listen to them on streaming.
Yeah.
The only time I ever download them is really if I'm going to be playing them on the Audiophile Radio Show. Right. I download them from there if I bought them, Sorry, go on. Yeah.
2008, it was in, that started around the same time as the one set up by that Swedish guy that we won't talk about.
Just
Yeah. So it was around the same time that was starting up as well. So it's been under private ownership until 2022 when it was bought by Epic Games. And Epic Games were the people that I guess they really shot to fame with Fortnite.
Yes.
Right? Everybody was playing Fortnite and still are.
I've never played Fortnite, but I don't think I'm the demographic really. But I know of it.
I haven't played it, but I'm very familiar with it. It's been on in my house.
I've seen the dance.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it why it got big. But it's already out of fashion, to be honest. They're staying hard to stay current. They're working hard to stay current. So Epic Games brought them, but then they very quickly laid off a load of people. So I think Bandcamp at its peak only had about 150 employees. And it went to Epic Games, and Epic Games decided to slash the workforce by 50%, even though it was only 150 people. So they started dealing with it like a corporation, right, and cost controls and all that sort of stuff. So Epic Games had it for 2022, but then only a year later, it was then acquired by its current owners, who are called Song Trader, and it's Song Trader, so it's trader without the vowel at the end, trader. Now, what's interesting is Song Trader specialise in syncing and licensing artists' work, which is almost the polar opposite of the philosophy of Bandcamp. Bandcamp's philosophy is putting artists and fans in direct contact, whereas the whole syncing is a little bit more invisible, and it's getting you syncing with brands, with television, supermarkets, elevator music, whatever, right? So it'd be interesting to see where that goes. I mean, it's been under that ownership for a couple of years now. We haven't seen any real significant changes. There's a lot of chatter online, but actually it hasn't fundamentally changed in those 2 years, right? For better or for worse. You'd argue that actually, the infrastructure, the architecture, the way of doing business for Bandcamp has largely stayed the same as long as it's existed, in fairness, right? They're not chasing trends. They're not following the latest thing, right? You're not putting avatars on there, and it's fairly basic, but it does what it does, right?
It does. I mean, there's things that I don't do and probably should. I'm like, I know that you can submit tracks and albums to them for them to add them to their playlists and
spotlights. I think
spotlights.
They call
them, and they've got a new thing. I got an email. Let me see if I can. I've still got it. They sent me an email. Was it? And it was it yesterday? Let me just have a quick look at my email. I might have already got rid of it. Oh, Bandcamp. There we are. The Cool Band Alert. That's something new.
Okay.
So I think it's weekly. So welcome to Bandcamp Notes, a free music discovery newsletter published by Bandcamp. So I think I had one last week, but that turned up yesterday.
Okay. Well, I mean,
it's highlighting one album by the looks of it, just one album, and then at the bottom it's got a list. Let me share my screen a minute, and so I can show you the actual thing. Where are we? Share.
So I guess we shouldn't be too sniffy about that. If you think about all the fanzines you've been buying, if they do that and do that well, it's a good thing.
So can you see that?
Yep, got it.
So So top of it looks like this. This is whoever this person is. I think that's the album that they're promoting, and then down the bottom, so it tells you a bit about it, so you can obviously go and listen to it and see what you think about it. And it's not out yet. It's not out till tomorrow, but you can pre-order it, and then recommendations based around that, which is quite a nice thing. And then we've got a list of listening parties. So they've picked a lot of listening parties. Now, I've not done the listening party thing with the release.
But I do know one and go for it.
I do know a couple of people who have, and they've said it was quite fun, really, because, you might only get 3 or 4 people at your listening party, but, I suppose if you promote it properly, you might get a few more. So that's, so I think it's quite it all helps promoting, doesn't it? Because the thing I've found with Bandcamp is that, and there's the Sinners Music version, is that you have to drive people to it. they're not going to discover it themselves unless they've actually got a Bandcamp account, really.
Yes. And that is a bit of a challenge. So there is a bit of I'll maybe come to that at the end in terms of, it's a great philosophy.
Yeah.
It's, the model is pretty simple. As I said, it stayed true to its initial ambitions. It's pretty simple to use. You upload your music, you control how you sell it, you can set your own price. It can be a minimum price. Yep. You can give stuff away if you want to. Fans can pay more if they wish. If you're a user, if you're a fan, you can download or you can stream on the website or the app, as you said, right? You can purchase physical copies, so you can, through here, there is a shop window.
I'm just going to click on merch. And actually, the other thing that I've added since we last talked is we have some key rings and little music stuff.
You are building that empire.
Yeah, well, we're trying actually. So we've got some, and it's just to see whether it's interesting. But interestingly, if you buy a key ring or a little badge, little brooch, because there's a piano one and drums and all that sort of thing, you get an album. Okay. So if anybody buys any of that physical stuff, although the album might not be directly connected to that thing you bought, you're gonna get a free album out of it anyway. And then there's all the usual sort of stuff that we've got there as well. Really, are you going to talk about the subscriber element?
No, I mean, maybe you do that. There's a good point to hand that off to you in a mo. So, I guess one thing to say, stay on the artist page, but uploading is free, right? And you don't need a middleman. You don't need distribution. It's very easy to do. Even an idiot like me can figure it out. So if you're putting an album on there, you're charging, I don't know, £4, £8, £10, whatever you want, whatever you've set, right? So what's this one, £5?
So £5 for this one, release. And then the £12 for the compact disc. Yep. And so far, because it's not actually out until the 1st, there's 3 tracks have been released, so people can listen to 3 tracks.
Yeah. So it allows you to do that. You can do pre-release, you can do countdowns, all of that kind of stuff. Now, the good thing about it is you set your price, but Bandcamp takes only a 15% cut. Yeah. So you get 85%, and that's been constant with them. Once you do reach, if you're lucky enough to reach $5,000 of sales, Bandcamp's cut drops to 10%. So you get 90%. So it's a fantastic concept, and it's a fantastic model. So there is a subscription option, right? If you maybe talk us through the. So
talking to the subscription, just before I get onto the subscription, the other thing is that they have what's called yum codes. So yum codes are things where you can give an album or an EP away to whoever you want. Now, I think the first 100 were free on everybody's account. After that, you had to buy them, and Sinners Music were buying them for quite a while. Once you hit a threshold, and I think it was something like 200 quid worth of business, you then got 1,000 free. So, I mean, like, I will create some that we can give away for, the next release. Most releases now have got free codes that we can give away if I want to. I don't give them away willy-nilly, but, it's quite nice, actually. If somebody buys something, then and you want to give them an extra album or 2, you can do. So the subscription model, you can go for as many different variations as you want. We've gone for 2. So for £3 a month, you get 26 albums plus. It's probably more now because we've done since I set it up. Let me just so. I think it was originally 26, but we've released 3 more albums since then. So you get the original number plus any new albums. So every time a new album comes out on the £3 subscription, you get it. So if you have that subscription,
and it's automatic. You don't have to.
It's automatic. It just appears in your account when it's released. Okay. Well, the minute it becomes a pre-release, so those people that have already subscribed for the £3 a month, they've already got the the Azimuth Till album, along with the 3 tracks that are available. They don't get everything until, you can actually also do just, if you wanted to do just releases just for your subscribers. And we may consider that at some point in the future.
Yeah, a bit of exclusivity, I suppose.
So you've for £3 a month, and if you stop that, like as I said earlier, you get to keep everything you've bought, so you paid for so far. The other option, and on top of that, you get a 15% discount on all merchandise. So anything they buy through the shop, and it says the satisfaction of knowing you're supporting, a small label in that sense. Now, the other thing that we did, which was to do a £15 a month subscription. That means you get everything, literally from everything that's on there as a digital album, if they are a digital album. There are some CDs which are not digital albums. They are just CDs because the artist didn't want them as digital albums. So you definitely get them. So the way that I've worked it is that for £15 a month, you get everything digitally from the moment you sign up. And then you get 3 albums a month that I select and keep a list of. So I know exactly what you've got. After 6 months, you're going to get a gift, which will be, it'll actually, I'm not saying what it will be an album and a book.
And a keyring.
No, maybe a keyring. I thought about the keyring thing, but actually maybe, or a brooch, something like that. Anyway, another free gift. So, and after a year, you're going to, if you're a subscriber for a whole year, I don't think it might say all this on this. It does say it on here, actually. You're going to get a Sinners Music t-shirt in any size that you want, really. So let me just, my little 10-minute thing. So yes, I think I've covered it all. All the back catalogue, including the white labels.
Nice.
And
that's customizable. So you can choose the value of the subscription and you can choose what you offer, right? Yeah. And so it's completely free form, completely customizable.
Yeah, I've just picked the next, because I've decided what our subscribers are getting next month, because it comes the 1st of October. So they're going to get an album by let me just go back off, because you can't see this, because let me just come back to, close the window, stop sharing. There we are.
You're back. Yeah, we're back in the game.
So, right, first things first is they're going to get a small album by a little-known band called Ramshackled.
I've heard about them.
Yeah, it's a great album. Okay. They're also going to get, this is not available as a digital, so they'll get Silk Road by Andrew Clegg, and they're also going to get, as a jazz album, by a guy called Jim Hayes, which again is not available as digital. So,
nice mix.
And so I pick a different mix each time, really. Right, very good. At one point, there'll be a cassette. We have a cassette available for sale. So they'll get the cassette. And like I say, so I randomly pick things. But then I need to keep a list of what everybody's got. So I do that as well. So there is a spreadsheet of and if they stop, they keep everything they've got. So if you do sorry, go on.
So it is a great thing, right? Because it's a simple platform. It's very customizable. You can do what you want to do. You're not having to you're not having to conform into what the website does, right? Yeah. You can offer as little or as much as you like. You can set your own pricing. You get 85% of everything you get, unless it's of everything you shift. Yeah. Unless it's Bandcamp Friday and you get 100%. It's like, what's not to love? It's a great concept. However,
but I was going to say, where's the but? Here's the but.
Well, yeah, it's not a but, it's a however. So I'm going to burst the balloon a little bit. So it's been going since 2008, and it's kind of steady growth. It's never had, a lot of other things, a lot of other digital, everything of the Internet of Things and AI now, and all of the digital things in the digital age have all been boom and bust, haven't they? Yeah. Everything's peaked. What's quite interesting about Bandcamp, it's kind of always been there, and it's just steadily picking up users, right? Picking up, it's steadily, just really trickling and steadily growing, right? And And I think part of that is because they're not focused on making money and profit and shareholders and propping up pensions and all of that stuff, right? They're sticking true to what they do. But however is, despite how good it is, and it's fulfilling that philosophy of getting fans and artists closer together, I feel like the only people that use it are music makers.
Or the musicians, yeah. That's
Right?
true.
So
I mean, I think that's very true.
So I did a bit of a poll, and I asked 20 people around the workplace that listen to music. They've got headphones, they listen to music, and only one of them had heard of Bandcamp, right? Yeah. But they're all music fans. They were all listening to streaming. Some are gig goers. So different levels of people that are into music. So that's the interesting things. It's a great platform. It does all of those good things, but actually, it's only people like us use it.
Yeah,
it's not actually really the fans. Now, where it ought to go, and if we think of that thing that's green that was invented by a guy in Sweden with a surname of like a deer. Is it Elk? Elk? Yeah.
Yeah, Elk. Mr. Elk. Yeah, we'll call him Mr. Elk.
Yeah. That if people are looking for a do different in that area, Bandcamp is it. Yeah, if you're an artist, if you're Taylor Swift, the biggest artist in the world, we were talking about her earlier, she could have a Bandcamp page. She would bring multi-million followers to her. She'll get 90% of everything, right? Yeah. I mean, cut everything else out, right? Why not?
You could, just...
Why don't those bigger artists just do that, and you just do it really, truly direct to the consumer?
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say that people like Taylor Swift, the deals that they sign with record labels
gives them the best producers, gives them the best techniques,
the best royalty rates,
best musicians, best royalty rates. Can put on the tours.
Yeah,
it's a good show. You burst my balloon there.
Sorry, but
you're right.
I think that's what's happening there. Interestingly, just as a sidebar, I've been getting quite a few emails from Bandcamp saying that they're going to change to this. It says this summer, but summer's over. But anyway, now, this year, they're changing their payment system. So currently it's through PayPal, which, to be fair, PayPal take their cut, which is usually 2.5% or something like that they take. And that comes off the. So if you bought something for £10 on Bandcamp, then on top of that will be the payment to PayPal on top. So it's going to be another £2 or £3 probably. So the consumer is paying that. Now I don't know why Bandcamp. It's not their own payment system. They're calling it that, but it's not. It's Stripe. Now I've already got a Stripe account. Why are they moving to Stripe would be my first question. I purposefully haven't moved over yet.
There are a lot of apps that are using Stripe, so I'm just guessing they're a lower cost solution. They probably take less of a cut.
So does that mean
friendly?
That Bandcamp are going to get a bit of a kickback from them? They may well do. I don't know. Anyway, that's conjecture. So
to be continued.
Yeah, I haven't, like I say, I haven't done anything about it yet. But I'll do it when I'm forced to do it. I've used Stripe before, and it's weirdly Stripe because my Stripe account is actually in negative equity and has been for about the last 4 years. So we sold a trumpet, and it went through our Stripe account, and then the customer changed his mind, so we cancelled the order before we shipped it. But Stripe didn't take the money back. They just every time any money's gone into the Stripe account, it's just a little bit comes off the actual the bill that is still sat there, which is an interesting way of doing things. Really, they have competition. So Subvert. I'll probably share my screen in the next step, but it says here, own and control the next Bandcamp.
Okay, so they're being plain about that.
So it says, join 7,693 artists.
Very precise.
1,390 labels, and 1,042 supporters in collectively owning and shaping Subvert. Now, I think I have a Subvert account. I think when it first popped up about 18 months ago, I did sign up and then completely forgot about it, to be fair. So it's not that big, and it's been going for at least a couple of years. I remember looking at the rates, and the rates were not as, for the artist's point of view, the rates were not as good as Bandcamp, and that's why I ignored it, really.
Okay, aims to be fully community owned.
Yeah.
So, okay, we should research
just become a founding member and all that sort of business. Although looking at the page, I can't see anywhere to log in, so maybe I didn't sign up. Well, we probably don't need to spend any more time. Get your copy today and join us as a founding member. I thought
I've used it before because I've just clicked on the web page and it knows my name. So
all right, so you are So musicians and labels.
My tickets. I think I brought tickets through. Oh, Bristonica. There you go.
Oh,
I brought the Bristonica tickets through
Subvert. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Events, Music Magazine.
So no, maybe there's another one then, because this can't be what I signed up, because
I don't think it's the same thing. Yeah, this is just a little gateway thing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? So
we're on different websites, I think.
So we were talking complete rubbish about. No, we were not complete rubbish, but certainly I hadn't signed up with Subvert. I had signed up with Artcore. Now I remember Artcore being launched a couple of years ago by a guy, and I'm just going to share my screen because I did log in. I did sign up because I've just logged in. So let me share my screen, and then we can have a quick look at it. So here is Artcore. I've not been anywhere near it since I signed up. I took Sinner's Music. What's this? Not now, thank you. So there's an Aphex Twin listening party. I know nothing about it apart from it's an alternative to Bandcamp. So they seem to have quite a few labels. Sort of smaller independent labels. Anyway.
I'm just looking at the Subvert thing in the background.
Yeah.
Looks interesting. They've not launched yet, so they're getting ready to launch.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you can join free as a musician or a label, as a founding artist, or you can be a supporter and an ally for $100.
For $100, yeah. So it sounds American then, doesn't it, if it's $100?
Yeah, it is an American guy, yeah.
Yeah. So interestingly, I mean, like I say, I signed up to Arc. I'll probably sign up to Subvert then, just on the basis of you don't know what's going to happen. So
I think that's what it is. I think there's recognition that Bandcamp has changed hands twice in 3 years. Both of them are big corporations. There's a worry that what was their original ethos is maybe going to be eroded, which is why we'll probably get some others pop up. There's a few of them fighting for the same space.
Yeah, I agree.
It's worth us. I mean, if they're there and they're free, it's worth us jumping on and being an early adopter.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah. I've just found the Artcore mission statement, which is always slightly worrying when the company's got a mission statement. Because anyway, but to provide artists, bands, and labels the best platform to sell and to connect, which sounds very much like, doesn't it sound like exactly what Bandcamp said? Anyway, so
just pushed it through AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Got a different answer.
Yeah. So I can't remember which it was now, but anyway. Fees. More on fees here. Just a second. So digital downloads. There's too much. There's too much there to go into. I'll put a link in so people can actually have a look at it if they want to, because there's a whole A4 plus on fees, and it's not straightforward. Like it's free for this, but there's PayPal charges, there's all sorts of standard revenue share, blah 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 blah, merch. So it's anyway.
Right.
So we'll forget that.
Okay.
So there's two of them. There's two alternatives to Bandcamp,
and probably many more.
And probably many more coming along as we speak.
Yes.
Fundamentally, the idea of it is solid, but I mean, you could I completely take your point about the fact that it's currently for musicians buying other musicians and artists' work, and they need to do some work on broadening that. Yes. Now, if that means bringing Taylor Swift on board, then do what you need to do. Really,
I tend to think there'll be a backlash to the big streamers. It's growing, isn't it?
It is growing. It is growing. We're already seeing
gathering momentum.
Seen it. Yeah,
people are pulling their catalogues from it.
Yeah,
there is growing momentum, and I think that's why people are shaping up to have something else as a soft landing. So it'd be interesting to see how it moves. Let's watch the space. We'll keep an eye on what's kind of occurring in that space, because we operate in that space. We've got a vested interest, right? So
we do. Yeah, we do. We want to survive.
Yeah, indeed. The apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the digital apocalypse.
Yeah, it does feel like that at times, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So, right, what's next?
Recommendations.
Oh, right, okay. So, are we coming back to Ask Ian? Is that to give you time to think of something? So,
I've got one.
That's good. So, recommendations. My first recommendation. I've got a couple. Is to watch what I've already said about this. To watch the concert with Taylor Swift one. Now, I know that not everybody is a Swiftie. I get that, but a 3.5, and Jane and I are watching it in chunks. So, and the way that she's done it actually, because she's covering so many songs off each album. So we're watching an album or two albums at a time and then coming back to it, which is actually quite a nice way to do it. But the production value is absolutely superb. I'm a fan of most of her stuff. The good thing I like about Taylor Swift, and I would put her in the same category as David Bowie. I loved David Bowie, but I didn't love everything that David Bowie did. Okay. Not every album was great. Tin Machine I absolutely hated, but it was definitely his right to do that, that band, I feel the same about Taylor Swift. I'm not fond of everything that she's done. Although I have just bought Red and Speak Now again, because I thought I had them, but I've been listening to them on streaming. So I've bought the physical albums.
Okay. Like she needs any more money, but
I know, but I mean, I think she's a superb artist. I think she's a great songwriter.
Well, and she works incredibly hard,
yeah,
right? She's
exactly.
done that, flogged herself, slogged all around the globe.
Yeah.
Back in the studio, releasing a new album. She's just working every single day, right? I mean, she put 2 albums out over lockdown, didn't she? The Folklore and the other one. New albums coming out any day now.
Yeah,
I think,
it's going to be soon, isn't it? 'Cause and actually, it's worth mentioning that she's done the same thing again. She's done a film associated with it, which is basically just a launch party thing, but it's going to be in cinemas. So I'm sure that they're going to have
a corporation all of her own.
Yes, and she's sorted all of that stuff out, or her team have sorted all that stuff out.
Hey, it's Taylor. I want to invite you to the official release party of A Showgirl. See the exclusive world premiere of the Fate of Ophelia music video, along with behind-the-scenes footage from the music video shoot, brand new lyric videos, and stories about each song from my new album, The Life of a Showgirl. Only in theaters October 3rd through 5th.
People will go. I mean, because, and those people that knock her, because you're always going to get people that are going to knock, I don't think you can knock it. She might not be your taste in music, but don't knock her, because she is actually bloody good at what she does.
Yeah.
So that's my first recommendation. Was there something else? I'm actually, there's a book coming out. Here we are. We get politics. Okay. There's a book coming out called The Fraud by a guy called Paul Holden. The book actually isn't going to be out until November. So I have been in contact with the publisher, and they have put me on the list to read it. Now, this is a book. It's about the shenanigans that went on with a guy called Morgan McSweeney, who is the chief of staff of our MP, our Prime Minister, Mr.
He's still
Starmer.
involved. He's still involved, isn't he? He's still in the gang.
He's still in the gang, yeah. But it's to do with misappropriation of funds or not disclosing funds. So it's I'm going to read a little bit. It says here, it's a meticulous account of the destructive political project that brought us the shambolic Starmer government. Now, for those people that see us in America and elsewhere, apologies, this is very UK-centric. Told with the control and fury that filled the explosive revelations. And that was a quote from Owen Jones. So the book, like I said, the book is not out yet, but I would say have a look at that if you're into reading books. The other one is a book by, I haven't brought it up, a book called Get In, which was released earlier this year by two journalists from the Times magazine, Times newspaper. And it's covering the similar sort of story. Now, what I don't know is who came up with it first. Okay. Right. But anyway, I will read The Fraud, and that's quite it's quite a provocative title, isn't it, to say that our Prime Minister and his henchmen have basically committed fraud. But anyway, I'll let you know when I've read it, and I'll read it before.
You're not going to go all right wing on us, are you?
Absolutely not. No. But there again, we have a right wing government, although they're meant to be Labour. You know, so I'm a lefty. I'm a slightly left of centre, but I'm definitely not right wing. So that would be my. I don't think there's anything else. I'm not really watching anything on TV apart from Bake Off, which I'm not necessarily going to recommend. That's my recommendations.
Okay. So I've been listening to some new album, 9 Inch Nails.
All right.
So I don't know if you've seen it. It's the soundtrack to the new Tron movie.
I saw the Tron movie
or something.
Yeah. I didn't know that what's his face had done it. Has he done it with
Trent Reznor?
And has he done it with
Atticus Ross?
Atticus Ross, English dude. Yes. And I know Atticus Ross more than. I mean, I do quite like some of the soundtrack work that they've done before, because I've watched films that the soundtrack's really good, and then at the end you see it's them. Yes. So they've been really
doing a lot of that. Yeah. So it's a soundtrack, but it's they're releasing it as an album, and it's I've only given it a couple of runs, but it's good. It's dark, as you'd expect. 9 Inch Nails, right? It's dark. Yeah. It's sinister, synth heavy. It reminds me a little bit of the Massive Attack album Mezzanine.
I've got Mezzanine,
black and white cover.
Yeah,
that's kind of dark
with the insect on it.
That's it.
Like an insect, yeah.
Yeah, that's dark and brooding, and it's a little bit like that. So even though it's soundtracky, there's fully formed songs on there. So it's pretty good. They were executive producers on the film as well, which is interesting. So it's the third Tron film. I only ever watched the first one. I don't know about Tron 2.
I've seen both of them. I thought the first one at the time, the
early 80s. So
early 80s, and it was fine. Yeah. I thought the second one, if I remember rightly, not liking it at all, and thought
I didn't see the second one.
It didn't go anywhere. It sort of almost told the similar sort of story. Right. And I mean, I didn't hate it, but I think it was meh, really. I have to say, on that basis alone, I am less likely to go and see Tron 3.
I don't think I'd see the movie, but I'm not. I mean, I did like the first one, but I think Tron is one of those things that's quite cultish that people.
Very much, I'm sure, yeah.
If they're going to make it a bit of a franchise and knock a film out every 5 minutes like a Marvel movie, then who cares? But hey, it might be all right. We'll see. I mean, if it starts to, it might be. If
it starts to get really, really good, I say about reviews, but the fact is that I also believe that you have to go and make your own mind up about these things.
Sure. Sure.
But if there's enough groundswell from not only professional reviewers but people going to see it, then I would. And I do listen to the Matt Commode film show, and I don't always agree with his opinion, but people write in or they email in, and when those people start to say, I mean, Matt Commode's the guy that said that The Greatest Showman had no decent songs in it. So, no, actually, he's going to be at Aesthetica. His band, the Dodge Brothers, are doing a silent movie thing, but it's an extra ticket. I wasn't suggest we go, but anyway. So that's a sidebar. So maybe.
Yeah, just want to see. Have a listen to the album though.
I will do.
To the music. Yeah. It's interesting. It's like I say, it's dark. It's all minor. It's all it's not too dark, but it's what you'd expect from Nine Inch Nails. It's interesting as I listen to it, interesting to visualize how it's going to work in the movie. So the movie must itself be dark, and I'm guessing it's post-apocalyptic or whatever. I haven't read what the spiel is about the movie, but I'm guessing it's going to be reflective of the times.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought so. Obviously the quality of the CGI now is far superior to as it was in the previous two. So
that's it for me. The other recommendation is Sona Vida on Saturday,
go and
27th
see them.
of September.
I've seen this band. They're not bad. I've seen this band more than once. They're really not bad. No, I mean, go if anybody near Box or Bath or in the southwest, because it's free to get in, isn't it?
No, it's ticketed actually. Oh,
it's ticketed.
It goes to the artist, so
that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Is it a big venue then?
You can buy on the door. I'd say it's probably they've got an outdoor stage, which we're past outdoor territory now, and then they've got an indoor long room. It's probably 50 to 80, I'd say, something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I mean, you are competing with Froome's Clinker Club, So the Clinker Club is on Saturday night as well. I'll be on.
I look
on
forward to hearing about that.
I'm not going.
You're not going
no, because I'll be on the train back from Bristol, because I think I can't get a train back until 8 or something like that. But anyway, and for those of you that don't know, having been to one of the Clinker Club nights, and I would, to be fair, given the choice, I'd have come with you. But if it wasn't the same night, I would have gone to the Clinker Club because it's weird. It's film and music, and I think the last time, the one time I did go, a guy was playing a guitar and he decided to take his trousers off and put a new pair of trousers on halfway through his performance while he was still playing the guitar, which, let's face it, is no mean feat, really. So, but it's weird and wonderful is how I would describe the Clinker Club. I have actually asked them to play at some point, but I've not heard back yet.
So maybe one last point.
Yeah.
One last point and a plug, and something that we should talk about is that there's the Bournemouth EMOM, which is a special event on Saturday, the 4th of October.
Yes.
So I've got some tickets because they're recommending getting tickets. So I've got tickets if we want to go.
Is that for the evening? Because I thought the tickets were only for the thing in the afternoon, which was
the tickets are for the EMOM bit. So there's something going on in the afternoon, which is noise stuff, isn't it?
Noise or whatever. Build a synth or something.
Yeah. And then there's an EMOM from 7 till 10, which I've asked if we can play, and they're releasing, I think they're going to release the lineup this weekend. So I don't know whether there's an opportunity or not. So we'll hear. But I've got tickets anyway, because it looks like it might be worth going along. Your old mate Martin Christie's going to be there.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see him.
Definitely.
We should go support him. So I've got tickets. So let's figure it out. We can chat. We can chat in the week, see if we want to do it, because that's next weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I'm up for it. I mean, I don't think I've got anything else on. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll chat before then.
We will.
All right.
Ask Ian.
Very good. Oh, Ask Ian, yeah. So here's an odd one then. So you've got to answer it quickly and instinctively, though.
Oh, God.
Okay. So sticking with music, you've got to put a supergroup together. So singer, guitarist, keyboards, drums, whatever your supergroup looks like. Go on, go. David Bowie on vocals.
Can I have live? Do they have to be alive now?
Alive or dead.
Right, okay.
You could have Bowie, for example, on
No,
vocals.
I'm not going to have Bowie. I'm going to have Mark Hollis from Talk Talk as lead singer.
Obviously, you're going to just have all the members of Talk Talk.
And actually, no, I would. No, well, that would be one band, wouldn't it? But I said, would I pick Mark Hollis? This is really. I can't just do it like that because I would really.
It's got to be from your gut.
Because if I was going to pick Mark Hollis, I'd have to pick the other two members of Talk Talk, the rhythm section. But I'm not going to do that. So no, let's not have Mark Hollis. Let's have. I mean, Ella Fitzgerald on vocals.
Okay, interesting.
Playing with. I don't want it to be a jazz band though either. So
they don't have to be compatible.
That's all right then. That's fine.
If we like the Harlem Globetrotters of music.
Yeah. So she is my all-time favorite singer. I just think she's got the best female voice ever, really. So I'd have probably. I'm trying to think of a piano player. Oh God! I can't do this. I can't do it. No, I can't.
So you just got to throw one out. You'd have Brian Eno on keyboards. Right?
No, I wouldn't have Brian Eno. Brian Eno's
Howard
not a keyboard
Jones.
player. Brian Eno. I've said it before. He's a lovely man, but he can't sing, and he's not a keyboard player.
No.
I mean, but he's actually his because he's got 3 albums out with this lady. His albums are worth a listen, actually. Talking about
Okay.
Anyway, we digress. I was thinking of people like I was thinking of jazzers, but I better not really. Jaco Pastorius on bass.
See, I'd go for a Peter Hook, but go on.
Yeah, you want a proper bass player. I'm sorry, Peter Hook. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke, but he's not a great bass player.
No,
he's a great Peter
unique
Hook.
style. Unique style.
Peter Hook. And on drums, we would have. Who's the best drummer? I don't think he's the best drummer, but I think Phil Collins is a pretty good drummer, or he was. Really, I don't think he's the best drummer, but and I think he deserves some love these days because I don't think he's very well anymore. He certainly can't play the drums anymore.
Is he?
No, bless him. So I think, in his day, in his day with Genesis, he's got a great voice, but I wouldn't have him as singer. I'd have him as drummer. In fact, I did see him play when he played in Brand X, his jazz band, and he was phenomenal in that. So
most
that's the rhythm.
Drum solo ever.
Sorry, yeah,
Most famous drum solo ever.
yeah,
right?
it is actually. Yeah, so I've got a drum. I've got a drummer. I've got a bass player. I've got a singer. I need a guitarist and a keyboard player, don't I, or a piano player? Guitarist. I don't know who the best guitarists are. Really, I'm not into guitars that much.
You mentioned Prince earlier. He'd be pretty wild.
Trouble with Prince is Prince. Great musician, great singer, but you couldn't have Prince as a guitarist in a band because poor old Ella he'd be elbowing her out of the way, wouldn't he, to get to the microphone? Because it is all about Prince, isn't it? And that was one of the best big gigs that I ever saw was Prince. You want a good sideman as a guitarist, somebody who
just steady,
isn't going to steal the soundlight, but when he needs to come and do his solo, and he's not going to overplay it because there's nothing worse than having a guitarist, shredding for 20 minutes, which is just really boring. It's like drum solos, really. So it needs to be somebody. Oh God, I'm not really up on guitarists well enough to be able to pick anybody. I'm going to go
let's
for.
just go on.
Sorry, go on. I was Duke Ellington on piano because he was a really good piano player, and he had his own band. I know. So we're just short of it. Do we need a guitarist?
Don't have to, right?
Probably not, really.
Don't have to.
So the Ian J. Cole All Stars. Oh,
you could throw in the guy. Who was the guy that did all the? He was Southern, only had his own guitar box thing, a 4-string. What was his name?
what the sort of
like a Billy Bob something. His name was
C60.
There you go.
I always thought
throw him in the mix.
No, I always thought because he always struck me. I mean, I thought that whole thing. I mean, yes, what he played was fine.
I bought one of his albums. I really enjoyed it actually.
But he for me, it was always a persona. You know. And he was popular for a while there, wasn't it? Because I mean, he played Glastonbury a couple of times, but I never really bought into that sort of hoedown sort of.
Yeah.
You know, it was never. I did
really buy one of the CDs. Still got it somewhere. I wouldn't say I'll listen to it now, but it's of a time.
You know, I mean, it was. I mean, you know, and it was different enough, wasn't it? Because it was, you know, the fact he was playing a 4-string guitar that was open tuning. You know. But no, I mean, I am still struggling to really come up with a guitarist that would fit in with that band.
Let's do it next time then. Next time, then you got to finish the team, finish the band,
and
then come.
I might replace the drummer. Actually, I might come up with a better drummer.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll have Phil Collins for a couple of gigs, but then elbow him out for somebody else.
You can get on Concorde to Philadelphia, right? Wasn't he the one who did that?
He's the one that did that. He played,
Live Aid.
You know, yeah. And actually, my Phil Collins story is that my mother was on her way. I may have told this story before. Apologies if I have, but my mother was on her way to Canada, and she was staying with a friend in London, and I didn't know she knew who Phil Collins was. But she rang me and she said, "Oh, I'm on the plane tomorrow." I said, "I'm staying with so and so." I said, and she said, "I'm with Phil Collins' mum." And I went,
"As you do."
What? She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, he's." And my first response was, "Is he there?" Of course, he wasn't. No, but So my mum was mates with Phil Collins' mum. Well, not really, but they met. You know, but I mean, you know, my mother was not into pop music at all. But, anyway, and on that note, shall we call it a day?
Who knew we'd end up with Phil Collins?
Phil Collins and my mum and his mum. Yeah. All right, mate.
All right, good stuff.
I'll talk to you before Saturday anyway, before the gig.
Yeah, let's catch up.
All right. Okay.
All right.
So thanks everybody. See you all later. Right. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye.
See ya.